Coming up in this episode of 1914 Excelsior, I point at things. Many, many things.
Main reason why the Excelsior is in the shop is because we need to repair the transmission. It's a 2-speed transmission controlled by this lever. That would be the neutral position. And the high speed is working, but the low speed is not. And it makes it hard to drive because the low speed, this thing is a bunch of monkey business anyway. So this is all going to come apart. We got to figure out what's going on there in the 2-speed transmission. Also, now that it's on the rack, I have noticed that the whole mechanism is very loose. This whole bottom bracket, the bearings in there are very loose, and this is shuffling forward and aft pretty badly. And so that needs to be addressed. And on the other side, this could be contributing to this all being loose down here, is this whole thing. You can see the whole thing is moving here. But I noticed that this nut in here is loose, and they are kind of a cup and ball bearing type bearings on both ends of the bottom bracket. So that could be causing it not to be, firm against those bearing cups. And I'm thinking that might have something to do with it. But again, we got to take this all apart and figure it out. Some other things that we also need to address is right here on the throttle side, when this beautiful mechanism that controls both the throttle and the decompression down here. The decompression part of this system is not working. So when you cut the throttle all the way, this should open up the exhaust valve, and then that's how you would start it. So you'd put it up on the rear stand, pedal with it in the low gear, and get the gyroscoping effect of the big crankshaft going. Once you get it up to a reasonable amount of RPMs, you would turn the throttle a little bit. That would release the exhaust valve, and then it would start actuating against the cam in sequence with the engine. And then, obviously the engine would hopefully start at that point. But this is not working. So this all makes this bike runs, but it is very, very difficult to start and very difficult to ride. The first reason being this mechanism for the decompression, and then the low speed not working in the 2-speed gearbox. And then some other things that I've noticed, just getting it up on the rack and having a closer look. This bolt here on part of the pivot mechanism for the throttle, that's some sort of hardware thing. I'm going to take that out. I'll machine a bolt so it looks like the other one that is on this side. So just like that one, and that's for the timing advance. So the left handle controls the timing advance, and then the right controls throttle and decompression. So I'll make that bolt look like this one. And the other thing that I noticed right off the bat is this here is a lock nut, and that's obviously not correct. So that's going to go too. I'm sure we're going to find other things while we're getting into this, but what an amazing bike. And I'm really excited to get going on it.